All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Opsmaker here. This is going to be your Monkey Minute for October 13th, 2021. Now, I want to point out something real fast before we get cruising. Just remember, God didn't bring you this far to abandon you. So keep the faith, stay in lockstep with your Bibles, and just study the Word and pray without ceasing, because this world definitely is going to need a lot of prayer. All right, so without further ado, let's jump over here to our board. We're going to kick things off with the economy. Now, we've been talking recently in the previous Monkey Minutes about this Evergrande drama and how that is all going to play out. Now, those not familiar with that, Evergrande is basically like the Lehman Brothers scenario for 2008. It is an institution over there in China that handles realty and or real estate. And they basically defaulted on their payment, and it's in the hundreds of billions of dollars. And they say that in the next 30 days, they're going to have to come up with the payment for that, or they completely default, and it's going to basically send ripples throughout the world. And so on that same note, it looks like China is actually in a world of hurt right now. They've got a catastrophic property sales. And the worst case scenario is now into play, according to the Zero Hedge. And they're saying that they've calculated, Goldman has actually calculated that China, their property values are worth about $62 trillion. It's the world's largest asset class. And they're saying that that number actually contributes to about 29% of the Chinese GDP, compared to 6.2% in the U.S. And so the issue they're running into is that these properties are their position in China was to change over to a common prosperity, and it's basically collapsed that market. And so they're seeing a huge impact happening. Now, keep in mind, too, that production right now is at an all-time low. They're saying production workers over in China are working like 1 day a week because they don't have the power to run their facilities. So I think we're seeing the squeeze on China as well as the U.S. So if you think our supply chain issues here in the U.S. were bad before, it's going to get really bad here in the near term. So pay close attention, because we get a lot of stuff from China. All right. Now, let's move over to Russia in the wars and rumors of wars category, where Russia is tested their first hypersonic missile out of a submarine just this past week. And so they said that it was a successful launch. But keep your eye on the hypersonics, because I know the U.S. is in it. As you guys know, I've worked in a missile program for a little while there, and hypersonics was part of it. So I will tell you that a lot of the stuff that you see from our competitors between China and Russia is a lot of hype. Okay, so just because they say it doesn't necessarily mean they actually are doing it with success. So, all right. Now, over here to Iran, which seems to be really just out on the forefront with everything these days. And so they've announced that they're making 20% more enriched uranium than they initially reported to the watchdog. And so, as you guys know, these folks are moving at breakneck speed to get into the nuclear arms race. And so if that happens, we're going to be in deep, deep kimchi. Okay, so pay close attention to this one. I will tell you that they are a big part of the Gog-Magog war. So they have an alliance with Turkey and Russia during that. And so these guys aren't going anywhere. And this is actually, it's just amazing how we continue to allow it. All right. And so it's because it's part of God's will. And because that is going to be a big part of the Gog-Magog war in the future. So, all right. Now, on that same note, and complete total knuckleheadedry, we've got Biden lifting sanctions on 2 Iranian missile producers. So if this guy couldn't do any more wrong, he just continues to just fall on his sword. And so it appears that he has now relieved 2 companies from the sanctions that are going to produce their military missile program for Iran. So you seriously can't make this stuff up, man. It just simply blows you away with the stupidity that we have. Common sense approach just doesn't exist. All right. Now, over as we talk about Israel, it looks like there's more knuckleheadedry going on, where the Biden administration is now saying our position against the unilateral Israeli settlement activity is clear, and that is they are opposed to a single settlement, and they want a multi-settlement, a two-settlement solution for the region, which, as you guys may or may not know, that is against God's will. And so typically when this starts to take place, you see some shake loose and some judgment starting to come upon the nations that try to do that. So pay very close attention to this, because God is not going to be happy with this one. All right. Now, here's one for you, and we better pay very close attention to this. Migrant Caravan leader vows to flood the U.S. border and says that we are ready for war. And he's telling them that they are leaving in 20 days, and that was on October 8th, so that was 2 days ago. So they're 18 days away from leaving, but they are basically threatening the United States with war. They're saying that this time, with papers or without papers, we are ready for war, he warned. If the National Guard comes and they are cowardly enough to beat women and children, let them prepare, because God's hand is with us. Now, this is a guy that's from, I guess it is People Without Borders. And I tell you what, we better start paying attention, because you get 60,000. We've heard upward of 400,000 for this for the month of October, headed that way. And we've got a mandate coming into play that's going to basically limit some of our Customs and Border Patrol, because a lot of them will be forced to resign or be fired because of that. And so we're going to be dependent on our National Guard to be down there. So if they aren't there, folks, we better be ready to be there, because somebody's got to stop this. Okay. Now, last up, we're going to do a little natural disaster stuff, which is pretty interesting. This is a catastrophic sandstorm that leaves at least 6 dead in Brazil, which is crazy when you think about it. I haven't heard too many sandstorms killing people other than camels. I don't know. This is kind of crazy to think about this, but they're saying that this sandstorm rolled into Brazil, and it just basically it was just pummeling the landscape, which is crazy. I guess maybe due to the winds. And so they're saying that the deaths are actually caused by falling trees and damage to houses and other storm-related destruction. That had wind speeds that reached as high as 62 miles per hour, which doesn't seem like that would be, enough to do that. But I guess, I don't know. All right, folks, that's going to do it for our Monkey Minute this week. May God bless you and keep you and shine his face upon you. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeywerxus.com.